say about the organization or the enterprises in the country. We've got about 63 million enterprises.
Mm-hmm.
About 23,000 organizations are actively engaged with apprenticeships.
Yeah.
So, as per you, why more and more employers are not engaged with apprenticeship? Is it because that there's a lack of awareness again, which exists in that side as well, or is it to do with more complex compliances that we have in our country?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so big paradox here, because we have the Apprentices Act, which requires that apprenticeship training takes place in establishment with at least a minimum number of employees. But I think that this Apprentices Act must be one of the most ignored laws in the world,
Mm-hmm.
because it is absolutely not needed. But we must first, India, we may infer that most of India's apprenticeship training is also an informal one, and it is not recognized, and it doesn't enter the statistics, but nonetheless, it makes a huge economic and social and also educational contribution. I think we need to also be able to better capture that. But when it comes to your question, is it lack of awareness or is it lack of compliance? It's not either or, but I think it is both. Lack of awareness because and over-regulation, and that regulation is oftentimes, whether rightfully or not, perceived as being more discouraging than enabling. And government has done a lot to promote. However, now that we see the success of optional trades, where establishments and industries have really great freedom to design their specifically needed curricula in line with demands, a lot of the administrative burden and the perceived overregulation is actually removed, except the awareness is not quite there. And NSDC, of course, we have a mission there to make it as easy as possible, obviously without compromising quality standards, especially those that are embodied in the relevant National Occupational Standards Qualification Packs and the National Qualification Framework.
Okay, so what I understand, Jan, is that what you're suggesting is that there is still while a lot has been done in the area of awareness. I mean, the fact that our Apprentices Act is almost about 60 years old, which is 6 decades, is pretty long time for the industry not to be aware of it. But you still find that there's a lot that needs to be done to make it more, I would say, to make the organization aware that what's in for them about doing apprenticeships.
Mm-hmm.
Is it also that what you suggest is that the India apprenticeship system is quite overtly regulated, which is making it complex for the organizations to execute it?
Which is a perception, but if you put it in international perspective, that may not be true. We've had through our industry engagement some opportunities to engage with Swiss and German employers in India, representatives of their companies, and they were surprised to see how little regulation there is in India, and actually how easy it is to engage as employers and bring in apprentices. But obviously there's a differentiation between optional trades and designated trades. And when you bring in some of the other instruments that are recently created, I guess we will speak about it later on, the third-party aggregators, that can make it very simple and very easy for establishments to take in apprentices, then it is not that difficult after all.
It is.
Again, we need awareness creation for that.
Yes. No, definitely. I mean, the Apprentices Act itself has undergone some 5 changes or the amendments ever since it was written in 1961. And the very recent one being the last year in September, when a few more amendments were done to make it conducive for the industry. But yes, I think there still has to be a lot of awareness. Awareness from the sake that they need to understand that what's the business sense for an organization to do apprenticeship, and then what's in for them if they were to engage. And obviously the returns tends to be high if they remain invested for a long time. That's what our case has been. So definitely, yes, I think our industry needs to be aware about the benefits of apprenticeship rather than only taking it as I would say that.